Well, as you can see, we have some guests in the car with us this time. As I mentioned in a previous video here, that we are heading to Orlando with some friends of ours to enjoy some R&Rs. We're going to be stretching this battery. We're going to be pushing it to its limits. We have a little bit of a deficit. We were at 19 miles. Now we're down to just a small 12-mile deficit that we'll have to make up to get to that Pooler, Georgia charger there. 70 miles. So based on that, if we extrapolate that out, Kevin, what does that give us?
Yes.
Exactly. Oh, guess what? I think we got a broken screen. And this wants us to stop 2 more times. No, what is this crap? All right, either way, we're charging up. We made it here at Buc-ee's here in St. Augustine, Florida. Welcome, Melanie. What?
Yeah, all right, this was on Melanie.
Sorry, Melanie. I think you're paying for our charging session right now. That's really weird. It's already after 2 o'clock in the morning. What is that? Almost 2:30 in the morning right now. We are still got to get to the hotel. Then we got to get up early for tomorrow, too. Everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. Today we are heading out on the road because we are taking a nice long road trip, well deserved in my opinion, to Orlando, Florida from here in Myrtle Beach, and we're going to be taking the 2021 Mustang Mach-E on this road trip. So we have a lot to go over, what we're going to be doing on the way there, what we're going to be doing on the way back, our plans for the trip, and we're going to be doing some fun stuff while we're down there. So we might even be recording 1 or 2 more videos while we're there, which is going to be a ton of fun. So anyway, join us on this road trip down from here in Myrtle Beach all the way down to Orlando, Florida. And the worst part is we're doing this kind of late in the day. We're probably not leaving till 3 o'clock this afternoon, somewhere around there. It's almost noon time here in Myrtle Beach, so we're going to be getting to the hotel real late tonight, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and dive in, take a look at the vehicle if you're new to the channel, and see how this trip is going to be planned out. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Tech Motoring YouTube channel here, where we have some really awesome fun with our electric vehicles. As you can see here, we have our 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E, which we'll be taking on this road trip. We'll talk about this in just a second. And obviously, if you're new to the channel, you probably don't know, but we have our 2022 Tesla Model 3 Performance. Also love road tripping this fantastic car as well. But this is the star of the show today, which is our 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E. This is the rear-wheel drive variant with the small battery, but it's the premium trim, so it has a lot of the creature comforts that are nice to have in a vehicle. Some of the higher technology stuff. Obviously, you get the hands-free Blue Cruise, which is amazing. And we're still on the 1.0 version of Blue Cruise. Still waiting for my update. Hello, Ford. Come on. Let's get to it. So yeah, we have our 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E. We're just about 20,000 miles on the vehicle at this point, which is not a lot. We've had it for about 2.5 years now because this became the daily driver for my wife for quite a while, and she doesn't have very much of a commute. But today, she has stolen our little Fiat that we normally have parked out there, so I can get this prepped and ready for our trip. So we're going to get it all charged up. We're going to make sure that we leave at 100% because we want to try to get as far as we possibly can with our first leg of the trip today. And as I was saying before, we're probably not going to leave until close to 3 o'clock, maybe even a little later than 3 o'clock to get on the road. So we're looking to get into our hotel down in we're staying at one of the Disney hotels the first night, and we'll be probably not down there till almost midnight. So it's going to be a long trek today for us, but we're looking forward to the following week of all the fun that we're going to have down in Orlando. We got so much stuff planned to do, so it's going to be a ton of fun. But anyway, let's jump in the car. Let's show you what we're going to be planning for our first part of the trip, so you have an idea of the range, the masterful range of the Mach-E. Even with the small battery, this car is extremely efficient in this particular trim. And yeah, I've been very enthusiastic about this car from the very beginning. In fact, if you're new to the channel, if you have a Mach-E, you just happen to come across this, I highly recommend taking a look at other videos I've done in the past with this vehicle. We've road tripped this car a lot, and it's pretty efficient for what it is, basically. And we'll talk more about that when we dive in the car. All right, you join us in the Ford Mustang Mach-E. So I went ahead and charged the car up overnight, so we were at 91% as of right now, we'll go ahead and plug it in a little bit later when we go out for our trip. It's still a little bit before noon here, and so we're going to be heading out here in a little bit, probably a few hours, so we'll plug this car in a little bit to top it off to 100%. But as you can see, at 91%, it is estimating about 212 miles of range. Now, EPA on this particular year and model of Mach-E was about 235 EPA range. Now, I have proven in previous videos, you could take a look at it, that this car will do 70 miles an hour and get 200 miles at 70 miles an hour. And that's not 100 to 0. That's like maybe about 90% of the battery, 85 to 90%. So this car has a very, very good, efficient, and the EPA range is a little bit, you know, underwhelming to what the car can actually do, which is actually the right way you want to do it in these cars, in my opinion. Under promise, over deliver, and the Mach-E definitely does that, especially in this variant in the rear wheel drive, single motor rear wheel drive, small battery. Obviously the small battery is less weight, so it helps a little bit with efficiency, but definitely that rear wheel drive, having that one motor is huge on that. So once again, over 200 miles of range. At 91%, this will probably be closer to like 250 estimated, obviously, once we get it out to 100. And yeah, I've even seen this as high as like 280 something when it was, obviously it's just guessometer, so it doesn't really know until you start driving. But yeah, it's just crazy how well this car is efficiency wise. So here we go. We have our trip laid out here. And as you can see, this is actually not quite correct. We're going to be taking a slightly different route coming down through Charleston. And the reason for that, let's go ahead and hit go and see what it does. So this is obviously being very safe about what we want to do. So once again, we're going to be leaving at 100% state of charge. And what we're going to be doing, instead of coming this way through 378, which normally I do, but for the sake of efficiency and distance, what I want to try to do today is take this route down the coast, which is 17. I wish it would kind of show roads here. So here we go. So 17 down the coast. We're going to be cutting through a bit of Charleston, South Carolina here. Obviously, it wants us to stop here and electrify America, which I'm not going to do. And our goal is to make it all the way down here, which is just outside of Savannah, Georgia. It is Pooler, Georgia. And this stop, I've never been there before, but this stop is actually a good stop because it's right off the highway. It's not outside of a major metropolitan area, so it shouldn't be super busy. And I think they have about 8 stalls at this Electrify America, which is really good, unlike the one that's up here, which is like 4 stalls. And the last time I was there, 2 of them were broken and 1 was derated. So this one is going to be our best bet. But that one by itself is actually over 200 miles away. It's about 212 miles. And if you look over here, 211 miles is what they're assuming we have range. So once again, we're going to be stretching this battery. We're going to be pushing it to its limits. So 100%, and I'm picturing us getting to the Pooler, Georgia Electrify America station probably in the single digits, maybe. Hopefully more like 10 or 12, but I'm thinking we might be pulling in about single digits. Now, it's a beautiful day outside. It's not very sunny, but as you can see, it's about 83 degrees. It might get a little bit warmer, but then it's going to start cooling down as we do that first leg of the trip. So really, climate is not really going to be pulling that much energy from the battery, so we should be good there. And then after that stop, we're probably going to stop somewhere around in this south of Jacksonville one more time before we make it to the hotel for the night. That's my assumption right now, but really my biggest thing is to do some slow going down the coast, you know, in pretty decent 45 to 55 mile an hour zones. Unfortunately, we don't have a very easy way to get out to 95. This 378 is a little bit weird. It's a very slow road as well, but it's just more direct going in that direction. 17 goes down the coast, goes south, so it's already starting to go in the right direction. Once we get out to 95 around here, then we have the really short trip, really, to get to Savannah, or Pooler, Georgia in this case. So that is going to be the goal for today, is to get to that Electrify America station, and hopefully we make it. If not, we will adjust accordingly. Speeds, climate control, whatever we need to do. So it's going to be a good time. So just to kind of show you, we're going to this 160 Pooler Parkway, which is the Electrify America in Pooler, Georgia. And this is going to be our route. So we're going to be going down the coast on Route 17, coming through around Charleston here, going out to 95. And then once we get on 95, we'll be pretty close to hitting Pooler there. So I think we can do this. Now it's claiming that this is 212 miles. And I think we can do that with no problem on the full battery of the Mustang Mach-E. So I'm not really too concerned. I think we'll be okay, but we're definitely going to be pushing the limits of this vehicle and of this battery pack to see if we can make it all the way to Pooler on our first trip. If for some reason we can't, we'll know that about halfway through. We'll try to keep an eye out on our guessometer here. You know, if we're down to 50% state of charge and we're looking at like we only have 100 miles left or something, yeah, we may have to adapt a little bit. But as you can see here, 211 miles at 90% is what it's projecting. And I feel like that is pretty accurate. That's a very accurate guess as to what we can get in this vehicle. So yeah, I definitely think 212 is not going to be a problem whatsoever. We'll have that extra roughly 10% buffer on the battery. And yeah, we're going to be fine. And this is going to cut out a lot of junk on this trip because getting to Pooler is huge. After that, we can already be in Florida and be only within an hour and a half to 2 hours from our hotel at our second stop, which means that this stop or this trip is only going to require maybe 2 stops, and that's it. We'll be at our hotel. So we're going to try to minimize the stops, which minimizes the amount of time that we're wasting, you know, jumping from charger to charger. Get this thing fully full, all the way up to 100% before we leave. Drag it down to as close to 0 as possible, so when we plug in, we get our fastest speeds. We'll probably get dinner or something at that first stop, and then we jump back in the car and zip right back down 95 and try to be in Florida. Hopefully, you know, by 9 o'clock tonight, we'll hopefully be somewhere in Florida, and then we'll be hopefully at the hotel before midnight. That's the goal, at least. Anyway, that was a little bit better visual of how we're getting there. I wanted to kind of show that, but that's what we're looking at. So this morning to get the car ready, since we hit about 20,000 miles on the car, we're just about there, actually, a couple miles short. We did rotate the tires, so I rotated the tires this morning, blew them up to the proper PSI in the tires, just make sure we have enough air in them, make sure we have the best efficiency possible. And as most of you know who follow the channel, my wife does join me on these road trips, and that will not change. She's obviously going to be joining us today for this road trip down to Orlando, but we're actually going to have some additions to that. We're actually going to have some friends with us. They are going down with us to enjoy this time off as well. So we're going to have 4 people in the car, and you know, road tripping with 4 people in the car is going to be a little different than what we're used to, and it's going to be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, this is going to be a long time coming for me. I really wanted to take some time off of work, get away for at least a week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And let me just say real quick, before we get out on the road, thank you to everybody who's watching this video, watching all the videos. I really appreciate it. Tech Motoring has been around for over 4 years now, and we are so happy and so lucky to have such a great viewer base of people. And just a big shout out to all of you out there that I appreciate everything that you've done and watched the videos and commented. If you have anything to say, comment down below the video, and I just appreciate that. Make sure you share this with people. If you have people who are, you know, have EVs or want to road trip EVs or just curious about it, show them this video, show them other videos. If they're interested in a Mach-E, show them this video, show them what it's capable of doing. And so yeah, that's just kind of the biggest thing right now, is to get people involved and actually understand and get past the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which you might hear that word FUD on the internet. So to understand that electric cars are capable of doing the same thing that gas cars are doing. Yeah, maybe you spend a little more time charging, but you know what? I like the little breaks that we take and spend a little bit of time at these stops, because it definitely lets you relax a little bit more. And of course you get food and whatever else you need. So 30-45 minutes of charging and you're back on the road. So the other thing I wanted to go over, which is going to be really unique about this trip. Now, because this is the Ford Mustang Mach-E, as some of you may know, we do have access to the Tesla Supercharger network, or at least most of them, I should say. The version 3s that are approved by Tesla to be used by other manufacturers. And in this case, most of the version 3s, I think by now, are capable of being utilized by the Ford Mustang Mach-E with an adapter, which I do have. And so if you're wondering why we're not stopping at Tesla Superchargers on the way down to Orlando, well, the other two people, which you'll meet in a little bit, they have never actually driven or road tripped in another electric vehicle. They have a Tesla Model Y, and they've lived the Tesla lifestyle for a while. And so this is just kind of giving them the experience of, look at how the CCS infrastructure is, and look at how, you know, different it is. And I'm not going to say it's better or worse, because we all know you all know, but I'm not going to say it's better or worse, but I wanted to give them that experience of what it's like to road trip a CCS vehicle and kind of the expectations of it. So on the way down to Florida, we will be doing only public CCS charging, no Tesla Superchargers. Now, I have the adapter with me in the vehicle, and so on the way back, we're going to pretty much just use Tesla Superchargers. That's what we're going to do on the way back. So we're going to see the differences. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of yet is that the navigation in the Mach-E does not offer Tesla Superchargers. At least I can't figure out why that's the case, but I cannot get Tesla Superchargers to show up in the navigation, not unless I manually put them in, but they won't do it with route planning. And so I can't even use those great yet. I kind of have to plan it out ahead of time, put the address in there and say I want to stop at this set Tesla Supercharger, and then it'll guide me there. But it's kind of annoying that it's not in the route planning yet. So as of September of 2024, we still do not have Tesla Superchargers in the route planning of the Mach-E, and I really would love to see that happen in the near future. But anyway, so on the way down, CCS, and then we're going to have a separate video coming back on the Tesla Supercharger network, which is going to be very interesting to see the differences and the experience that you get living the lifestyle of Tesla versus pretty much everything else on the market. And in the future, obviously, this is all going to change. We've already seen announcements of Hyundai saying that their new vehicles were going to be starting to come with NACS on the car as of next year, 2025, which is going to be awesome. And so we're going to start seeing that adoption just get more and more and more. And so with that, it's just going to eventually just merge into that NACS lifestyle for a lot of people, except for people like me who are going to have the Mach-E with CCS. Unfortunately, that's just part of it. If you're an early adopter, you get stuck with that. But in the meantime, stay put, because we're going to be on the road very shortly. All right, move the car outside of my garage so we can make room for the Fiat when my wife gets home from work. We're just waiting on her, and then we will be out on the road. So we are charged up to 100%. 240 miles of estimated range. Once again, our first stop's going to be about 212 miles, so we are looking forward to that. So you can see here, we're going to reset our trip odometers and everything like that in just a few minutes. Hopefully, we're going to get on the road maybe about 4:30 now, so it looks like we're going to get there probably after midnight. But no big deal. We're going to have a great time when we get there. So looking up to that. I got the car plugged in, so what I'll do is I will try to precondition the cabin before we leave to try to help our efficiency as best as possible, and just do the best we can to make this all work out. So that's pretty much what we're looking forward to in just a little bit.
We're here for it.
This is what
pretty sure I was wearing the same shirt in your last video. People are going to think this is the only clothes I own.
I mean, it's pretty much the only thing you wear.
Maybe we'll just tell them we shot everything in the same day. And
that's
then
right.
We'll just...
Actually, the same day we picked up the Fiat.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah. So literally the last video you were in.
We did all of this same day. Picked up the Fiat and left Savannah back to Myrtle Beach. And then went back to
drop
Orlando.
off the Fiat and then drive back to Savannah to charge to go to Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Well, hello, everybody.
Wow.
Well, as you can see, we have some guests in the car with us this time. As I mentioned in a previous video here, that we are heading to Orlando with some friends of ours to enjoy some R&R. So we are just leaving now with 100% state of charge, 235 miles of estimated range on the battery, but we are going to be pushing that today. Sorry, Caitlin. Pushing. And we are heading out right now to get onto the road and try to make that 212-mile leg to our first stop in Pooler, Georgia, as I mentioned previously. So we are finally getting on the road about 4:30. So we are getting there tomorrow at this point.
Tomorrow.
All right. So we are heading out right now, and well, we'll just see you on the road. And Anybody else got anything you want to say?
Let's go to Disney.
Let's go to Disney. We'll see you at Disney. Just starting our trip here, got our hands-free going on our Mach-E, and we can see that we have a little bit of a deficit. We were at 19 miles, now we're down to just a small 12-mile deficit that we'll have to make up to get to that Pooler, Georgia charger there. So down to 95%. We're gonna be getting off this highway in a little bit here, then we will be mostly slower speeds for quite a while. So hopefully we'll make up that deficit in the next hour or so, and then we'll have smooth sailing from there. We've managed to work our deficit down to about 5 miles now, which is working out really well for us. And we're only at 88% state of charge, so looking really good. So the sun's starting to go down, which means temperature's going to go down, which means climate's going to be used even less, which means our efficiency will be even better. And we're right now at 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour, mainly due to some slow speeds. But other than that, it's been a pretty smooth trip. A little bit of traffic to fight through, but looking good. Doing a quick check-in here at 75%, 137 miles to the charger, 135 miles of estimated range on the Mach-E. We've done 70 miles. So based on that, if we extrapolate that out, Kevin, what does that give us?
Yes.
Exactly. About 280 miles is what that comes out to be, which is a lot more than what we need. So
We're gonna make it.
that's right. So here we are, an hour and a half into this trip, 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. We are killing it. So we are going to make it to Pooler, Georgia in no time. Well, actually, it's going to be no time for you. It'll be a couple more hours for us. Yay. %, check-in here. We still have a 16-mile gain now. We have some excess energy that we're hopefully going to burn. And as you can see here, we are doing really good. Still 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. We're almost 3 hours into this trip and 136 miles done already, meaning that we're on track to do well over 250 miles on a single charge in the small battery Mach-E. Everything's looking pretty good, starting to cool down outside. You can see it's below 80 degrees, so climate's going to start working in our favor as far as efficiency concerns. So yeah, no problems getting to Pooler, Georgia, and I don't think anybody else in the car has concerns as well.
Not anymore.
That's right, there we go. All right, so we are just cruising along. As you can see, it's getting dark outside as well. All right, finally made it onto 95 where we have a proper hands-free situation now. 64 miles of range left in the battery, 41 miles to the charger, so we are going to try to burn up whatever buffer we have 165.9 miles already done on this trip. So we have been cruising almost 3.5 hours now, and we're going to start eating into our efficiency a little bit as well, just because of the higher speeds. But it looks like it's going to be pretty smooth sailing from here. I didn't jinx anything. And yeah, hopefully no more traffic since it is 8 o'clock at night. So we won't be getting to the hotel until probably after midnight at this point. But we'll try to be as efficient as possible with our charging and go from there. But looking good. Made it to our first stop here at 16% state of charge, way more than I expected. 205.5 miles, exactly 4 hours of driving, 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So let's get out here, get the car plugged in. Hey Kevin, like to do the honors of plugging in your first CCS charging session, I think, right?
Well, first, that's not a Tesla.
So that's not a Tesla, right, right.
No, I'm sorry. We did it on the Polestar in Europe.
Oh, that's right. Oh, guess what? I think we got a broken screen. You know what? Plug it in. Let's see if the plug-in charge works, because we don't have to worry about... And in Europe, that's CCS2.
It's
technically different.
Technically looks the same.
All right, so since we can't see on the screen, we're going to hope that plug-in charge works. It's not looking very good. And we're done. Moving over to the next charger.
Number 5.
You can't do this with one hand while filming, so that's why it's good to have somebody to plug it in. That looks a lot better. We got some spinning lights now. That doesn't look good.
So it says connecting. Processing payment.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Oh, I heard a click.
Yep, we're blinking here. We're blinking. I wonder if we sat at that one long enough, it would have worked. Because it did take a while for that to handshake.
My Beetle charges quicker.
Let's see, these are what, ABB units, I think? Oh yeah, old ABB units from 2020.
We're going.
56 kilowatts, 56 cents a kilowatt hour, that's crazy.
Can't do that.
Got the Ford plan here, so that's how the plug-in charge works, through Ford. One of the very few cars that actually has plug-in charge. I just want to see what we're gonna pull from our, yeah, I already hit the button, it's just, the interface is slow on these older units.
You ever see the picture or video where it's like the Windows blue screen with a frowny face on a couple of these?
Yeah. I've seen one where it's the full Windows desktop. Like they just shut down the app and
awesome.
like the whole Windows desktop is there.
It's Electrify America, that's Volkswagen, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Volkswagen.
Here we go. All right, 18% state of charge, 1 minute, 114 kilowatts, which is pretty much par for the course with this car. So, all right, we'll be here for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Let's get some food. I'm starving. And this wants us to stop 2 more times. No, what is this crap? We're going to find another charger here and stop there instead of this. This is not right. We're not going to stop 2 more times tonight. 1 more, and that is it. Let's get this in the navigation and do this right. All right, so after a little bit of realizing there's something better out there for us, we could get to Buc-ee's here, and we're going to do that. St. Augustine, Florida. So I think we're going to be doing that as our next stop here. So what do we do? Replace trip, I think. Hopefully that is going to give us what we need.
Is it
Yeah.
trip or charger?
I definitely think we could get there. What's that?
Is it replace trip
Please
or
drive
replace
to
charger?
highlight-
I have no idea. There we go. One charger. Oh, it still wants to stop at FPL. No. There you go.
Weird.
It's not like a Tesla. You can't be like super quick about it.
Gotta take it slow.
Yes, it's very temperamental. You put the flap back up.
Yep.
You got to remember the flap too.
know it.
Ready? I'll drive.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, I'll drive. I'm on it now. All right, so we got 162 miles to get to Buc-ee's in St. Augustine, so it's about 2.5 hours of driving. It says we have about 171 miles of range and 163 miles to get there, so it's going to yell at us, even though we know that this car could do much better than that. So we're just going to on the road and say goodbye to our first Walmart stop. Down to 39%, 66 miles of range in the battery, 63 miles to the charger. So we're doing pretty good. Obviously our efficiency is not as good as it was before. 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour, just about an hour and a half into this trip and almost 100 miles. So we are heading to Buc-ee's in St. Augustine, Florida. So we'll be over the border of Georgia into Florida on our second stop. And that should be probably our last stop for the night, hopefully. And yeah, I'll just kind of go from there. Hopefully we can build up a little bit more of a buffer than what we have here, just a few miles, but we'll see as we go. We still got another, how many miles we got?
An hour.
Another hour?
I think so.
Yeah, 58 minutes. So about another hour on the road here before we get to the charger. So we'll see how the next hour goes. Oh boy, made it here. Just 7% on the dial there, looking real good. 160 miles just about. A little over 2 hours and 18 minutes, 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour. This is pretty much all 95, all 70, 75 miles an hour. Still did really good with efficiency at that 2.8 though. So we are here now getting the car plugged in. Looks like Kevin's already on top of it. Gonna use my plug share or plug, what is this called again? Charge point. And there we go.
Why is the one
Blinking
light on the
light.
left blinking?
I think that means that it's not available. Because
We're using
maybe,
the one on the right, though.
yeah, but maybe that means if this is being used, maybe that one's not available. No, that doesn't make sense. These are shared cabinets. And these are the nice Mercedes ones that they're putting at all the Buc-ee's too, 400 kilowatt, which I assume they're shared. I'm sure you can put 2 cars here. I mean, that's why they got 2 parking spots. But anyway, ramping up power. Well over 100. Come on, let's see the fastest ever on this. About $1.25 is what I normally see here. It's struggling. Uh-oh. I want to see that. There we go. Only 107, 108. Not the fastest. It might ramp up once we hit a little bit over 10%, maybe. Nope, guess not. All right, either way, we're charging up. We made it here at Buc-ee's here in St. Augustine, Florida. First time I've been at this Buc-ee's. Wow, look at, there's some Superchargers over there. Way out over there on that side, you can see the Superchargers on the other side of those gas pumps over there. So it's a good place.
1000% humidity.
Yeah, definitely. A lot good. Really off the highway, instantly off the highway. So really nice place to definitely stop and charge up. 103. So we're already tapering down. This Mach-E has the worst charging curve ever.
Now it's green. Maybe it just means like at that moment.
At that moment, it won't let you, because it's already being used by somebody else, but maybe it, yeah, whatever. All right, we're gonna go inside. All right, welcome back to the car. We'll see where we're at. We were just discussing our plans for the rest of the night. So we can, at this point in time, with 132 miles left, we can potentially make it all the way to the hotel if we do a little bit of a deep charge here, or the other option is to just charge up a little bit more, get in the car, head down 95, and basically stop one more time for a quick 10-minute charging session, and then we could get back on the road and be there relatively quickly. So 34% that let's see how long have we been charging here. So just about 12 minutes at 34%. We're still at about 86 kilowatts. So we're going to probably hold around 80 kilowatts up to about 80%, which actually would probably be enough to get us to the hotel with some state of charge, but I don't know if we're going to have enough for me to want to keep the car sitting at that state of charge overnight and into the next day, and because we're not going to be driving anywhere tomorrow potentially, or at least not until later tomorrow night. So I think we've decided. I say let's get 80%, get back in the car, just start driving, and we'll just see how it is.
You have to ask the most important question.
What's the most important question?
What would Max Verstappen do?
Let's see. He'd probably do about 170 miles an hour. That's... He'd... All right, so I think that's what we're gonna do for now, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna check the inboard navigation and see what that suggests too. All right, next stop, we're gonna stop at this Electrify America. Looks like it says we're gonna get there with about 14%, which is good. That'll get us basically right next to our hotel for the night. We'll charge up for about 10 minutes just to get the battery at a nice safe percentage, and then off we go. Looks like Kevin has already unplugged us from the ChargePoint charger. These are awesome installations here by Mercedes and ChargePoint. They've got quite a few here too. It's pretty nice installation. It kind of wraps around the cabinet over here. But yeah, we're getting back on the road and heading out. Yep, plug the thing in. All right, 16% state of charge. Made it to Orlando at the outlets here with these new Electrify America charging stations with the single handle on each one with this nice cable management they have on them. So Kevin's going to get us plugged in. Hopefully plug and charge works on the first shot. See how much harder it is to plug in these things versus a Tesla. It's crazy. So, ooh, some sounds coming out of there. Looks like payments authorized on the screen there. Says it's initiating charging. Oh, you can see the refresh rate on these screens is so much better than the other ones. That's good to see. Looks like we're already charging. Oh, and it has like a cursor tail. That's interesting. All right, let's see what we pull here. Oh, this is a balanced charger. Welcome, Melanie. What?
Yeah, all right, this one's on Melanie.
Sorry, Melanie. I think you're paying for our charging session right now. That's really weird. That's really weird. All right, ramping up. Come on, give us like 120. Give us something good today. Everything's been like 115. I don't think we're gonna get it. Subpar charging today. And we've navigated to all the charging stations specifically because of preconditioning, and we still struggle a little bit. So, all right, cool. Well, let's get it charged up and we'll get out of here. It's already after 2 o'clock in the morning. What is that? Almost 2:30 in the morning right now. We are still got to get to the hotel. Then we got to get up early for tomorrow too. So it's going to be a short night. All right, 10 minutes into our charging session. We're already up to 41%. We're stuck on that 83 kilowatts. That's pretty much where it sits for that big length of time there, almost up to about 80% at about 80 kilowatts. So these stations are pretty good. Obviously, these are the newer ones, but you can see that there's a defect in that screen over there on that one already. And then these two chargers over here, both this one and that one, both have faults. And yeah, just crazy to see that this Electrify America stuff goes down so fast anymore. And I could definitely understand why they're going down faster than they could put them up for sure. So, but yeah, we're going to be here for just a few more minutes. We'll see how this goes. And yeah. All right, everybody. Well, it is the next day. We were so wiped out this morning. We got into the hotel at 3 a.m. and we were up at 6 a.m. to get to the park for the morning here in Disney. And so we were completely wiped out last night. I didn't get a chance to do this outro here for you, but as we saw with the Mach-E, it proved once again that it is a road traveling beast. In that first leg where we drove about 4 hours, albeit it was a little bit slower in certain circumstances there, but we still proven that this car could do, 250 miles if you're taking your time doing, 55 to 65 miles an hour. If you're going to be on the highway doing about 70, 75, you're going to get close to 200 miles of highway range from like 100 to 0. Of course, you're not typically doing that, but just super impressed with this vehicle, super impressed with its efficiency. And man, it road trips really, really well. I think my only caveat with this car, at least with the small battery, is the lack of a fast charging curve. So Ford does that thing where it gives you that boost, and so you get that boost right away, and then after that boost it kind of just tapers down to about 85 kilowatts for a pretty long part of the battery, up to almost about 80%. It sits about 80 kilowatts, and that's okay, but you're really stuck at a charger for about 35 to 45 minutes with this vehicle. I really like to see cars around like that 30-minute mark and then back in the car and go again. So this car, you're stuck at a charger a little longer because you need to sit a little longer to get the extra range to get, you know, back on the road and get to a pretty good distance. But we've proven that pretty much a 500-mile trip, you know, roughly, we can do in basically just 2 stops. Now, we did the 3rd stop last night just to give the car a little bit of a chance to sit at a little bit higher state of charge, because we were going to get to the hotel last night with like 17% or something like that. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have it sit at a better state of charge. Better to keep it above 20%. So we got to the hotel with about 50%, which is pretty much perfect. And then we have a little bit of running around energy now. So we have some plans for this trip, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. We are going to try to catch a SpaceX launch this week, as long as they don't cancel it. So I'm going to try to do a video for that and see how that goes. And of course, we'll be doing a video on the way back. If you like the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up just below the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because we got a lot more content with road tripping and this Ford Mustang Mach-E for sure. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video and all the other ones, and we'll see you on the next road trip. Thanks everybody again for watching, and remember, welcome to the future. Welcome to Tech Motoring. We'll see you soon.